Yes. The boys are back. This Brendo's already cracking a smile. I don't know if it's because of what I just said off air or he's just jolly. I'm not sure.
I'm not jolly.
He listening to
I'm
knock him
mudgy.
out the box. My name is Vinnie Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most of Mr. Majestic, left, right, left kid, Mr. Brendan Long.
130.
Episode
That's it. 130. Yep.
Irish
And
Billy
Sap.
Bindlesticks is in the building.
Hello.
Come that part of the show, he'll report on how things went. This guy's betting on horses, in between fights to try to get up. He's down. He's going up.
We were riding the roller coaster this weekend.
I was gonna say a real financial roller coaster.
The great Pazzini was like within 2 punches of picking the round.
Tony Taro, man, he's back. That's all I gotta say.
I didn't have a good weekend in picks.
Yeah, no shit.
That's why you're
look how upset he is.
Motel 6.
Yeah, no shit. I missed a mortgage payment.
Yeah, no shit. I'm in a Motel 6 now. The whole family.
Thank
One
you.
room, one bed. What's going on, fellas? How's everything going?
Ain't shit. It's raining. Is it raining down there?
Yeah, it's shitty.
It's pouring.
It's
here.
been
next 5 days.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I get my seasonal depression here. I get sad when it rains.
I get sad when it gets warm. So.
I know you get sad when it's nice out.
Correct. Well, when it's hot.
Because you hate to see me happy.
Not true.
You like mudgy. That's what you want.
I
just
do.
Knows you're gonna have another vacation.
Yeah, whenever that.
You do. You thrive on it. Hey man, no vacations from the show. So where I broadcast from don't mean shit.
It's May. From May to September, what's the over/under on vacations for the Long family?
2.
I say 4.
No,
wow.
I think
that's the 2. I'll take that over.
It's got to be 2.5.
No, it's one real vacation, and we're gonna do in 1 weekend away. I think
definitely going over that from May to September. Definitely
2.5 is the number.
2.5 is the over/under.
That's the over/under.
Yeah. So if he does 3,
all right. Give me a week to think on this. Are you taking the under?
I don't know.
I like the action on this. Listen, write in at kotbboxing@gmail.com and bet on how many vacations. And if you want,
I got to see it.
I'll set up a GoFundMe and you can fund my vacations if you guys bet the over.
Does a single night out of town count as like the half?
No. With who? You don't get to decide. You're
Yes, I do. Because if I go down and hang out with Billy,
if you and your wife sleep out without the kids, that counts as half.
You're a participant.
That's a half a vacation.
Event.
Yes.
What if I? No.
You don't get any say in this. What do you mean? No.
I do what I want.
You can do what you want, but we're not taking into consideration. What do you think about
that? You don't fucking make the rules around here.
I do it during a bet.
No. Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
You can release your own records and make your own rules on your own records, all right? And what's the name of that record, by the way? And where can we get it?
Hold on, but you get like if there are any bets made on KEOTV, you are the arbiter of law.
As far as concerned with what I consider a vacation or not.
No, that's when you're not.
Right.
Because then you're
out of your fucking mind. If I go down to.
What if you particularly like me?
If I go down
with Billy, and then you just go on a.
If I go down and visit Billy,
if
that's not a vacation, or it is.
No, it's if you and your wife are doing
without the kids.
What
if we just come down and we meet at the beach?
Billy, he's out. Billy, we establish our own rules that we bet on.
My family of 4, your family of 5. Okay. There'd be 9 of us.
Were you sleeping out that night?
That's your problem.
You staying in a hotel room?
No. What if we stay at your house, or you come and stay at my house? Is that a vacation?
Yes, it's half
that would
of
be
one.
my vacation.
You guys, the loose definition of a vacation.
It's a half.
This is a Philly vacation.
Before we get into this show,
that's just a South Philly vacation.
Can I say
something? I went down to the shore for a fucking day. I went on vacation.
Fucking half a fucking vacation.
I agree. It's half a vacation. That's you were overruled.
That's how the points.
I went out to Delco for fucking 3 hours. It was the fucking went on vacation. Yeah.
The Delco Deucer.
The Delco
pooped on the car.
Whoa. Let's talk about her real quick.
I got something I got to say important. Then we can go to
She's a fucking superhero.
She is. Can I please, someone with good memory of our listeners, because some people have, you guys know how I have eidetic memory, but only with old shit. And I don't remember the episode. It was 1, 2, 3. It was kind of recent. It was probably an April episode where I said, not only does Bud beat Canelo, but he does so easily. And you went, whoa. Someone with really good memory, can you just write us and tell us what episode that was so I can grab that clip? Because I said it before the Canelo school fight.
Write us at keotbboxing@gmail.com. So you
right. Or tweet BRI and just say, yo, Paz, it was this episode.
If you give us the time on the show, we'll send you a shirt.
We'll send you something. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Because I live in the United States.
Right. Continental US. I need to. Right.
Sorry, Hawaii and Alaska.
If you live somewhere else, you got to cover the shipping. The shirt is free, but you got to cover the shipping. I was not. Look, I'm not saying, it was one of the last 129 episodes. It was over the last 2 or 3, but I hate listening to ourselves.
Fucking poor
I got to grab that clip.
These poor guys I'm just thinking of some kid in Hawaii, like, I know it.
No, there's this poor son of a bitch. One of the kids in France that was like, hey, hate to bust your bubble, but we
like you.
France, we like you.
Right now, Joe from Juneau is like, God damn it, I know the episode.
Yeah.
Just want a shirt. It's cold up here.
Yeah, there's a guy in Wowie, Hawaii that's fucking cursing us at a pig roast because we won't send him a shirt.
That's like me saying all you do is eat cheesesteaks.
Well, that's not, I mean, is that really that far from being off?
For breakfast, you get up.
Yeah, if you were like, you low life Philly mutants and your cheesesteaks, I'd be like, well, it's not really slander if it's true. I don't know. I don't know what is Hawaii.
I'm still thinking that Philly spam.
Spam. They do the
pineapple,
roast, right? Or is that more like Samoa and stuff?
No, that's there. I went to one and
big surprise. Were you on vacation?
Right. That was another vacation.
My honeymoon. Where'd you go on your honeymoon? Atlantic City?
I think pig roast are big things in the Pacific Islands in general.
Yeah. I went to a pig roast. I'm gonna be honest.
That wasn't. Yeah, you're acting like that was a racist comment.
No, I wasn't. Not racist.
Not racist.
No, stereotypical. Yeah, no, it's just,
I love stereotypes.
No, just that they're constantly at a pig roast. You know, eating spam out of a can. That's just
all they do.
That's all they do. Every 3 meals a day.
Well, I'm an ignorant American, so in my mind, whatever singular thing I think of people, that's just all they do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I went to a pig roast.
If you're Nordic, I'm just like, you eat like gelatinous fish,
pickled herring,
pickled fish, and
herring.
Even though I've been to these places and I know that that's not true, I'm working with a sick mind. You want to talk about the Delco Deucer before we get into news?
Yeah. So
that is the news.
That is the news,
guys. In Delaware County, which is right outside of Philadelphia. There's Philadelphia, there's Delaware County, Montgomery County. What other ones are close, Billy? Like close enough to mention?
Bucks
County. Yeah. So, guys, there's this, I don't know, sort of road rage incident, and this white trash chick gets out of a car and just deuces on the hood of the person's car or they had heat with.
On command.
And it was diarrhea, or diarrhea, as my nephew used to say.
She is a superhero. You know, we all have our own special gifts.
Right.
My mom used to tell me when I was failing math, and I'll eventually find mine. This woman found hers, has control of it, and I don't understand why Marvel hasn't optioned. Should she be a good guy?
Her legal defense is she said I didn't have to wipe, so it doesn't count. It was a no wiper, and I kind of agree with that.
It was a slider.
Well, yeah. So how?
She said she has a disorder.
Yeah, I saw that. She was in cuffs yelling that.
Honey, you got a disorder, right?
Yeah, I have a disorder.
if you watch that clip in the background, you hear some
I heard
kid
the
go,
guy
"Yo,
go,
what did you eat that day?" And
Yeah.
I know the kid who screamed it out.
Oh, of
Really?
course you do. Of course you
Do
do.
you really?
I just sent it again, B. Please post this on the IG story. I don't know if
Okay.
we want this on our page, but the
I
story
have the
goes away,
video
right?
from the kids, like he's screaming from his house. They were like
Excellent.
arresting her out front of his house.
Excellent. I wonder
I
what the
want,
charge is. Is disorderly conduct, destruction of
is this
property?
what you
I'm
just
not being
sent me?
funny.
I don't want to, can I say
Defecating
it?
in
Can I
public.
say it to the listeners?
What I just
What
sent
you
you
just sent me? Yeah.
to post on our story?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Can we get though, like, is that already a thing or did someone, meaning, you should sell those on
Oh,
jmtstore.com.
I think someone, you can make like small runs of stuff like my Shopify dot Brendan Long. Like I think
Yeah.
someone's doing that already with them.
Oh, this should be the fucking thumbnail for
Look at what the
jmtstore.com.
girl's wearing. She's wearing the pajamas tucked into the Uggs. There's a Wawa in the background, I think.
Oh, yep,
I
there
think.
is. There is. So
Great.
up here we have a like a trope, I guess you'd call it. You know, does she wear Cookie Monster pajama pants
Yes,
and smoke Newports
she does.
and drive an Altima
She
uh
does.
with a busted bumper?
And the leaving her mark on Delco is pretty brilliant. And I like how she's stepping on the deuce that's
On the
dripping from the
deuce.
car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Philly. Well done.
Proud of you guys. That really did make me happy and proud. And Bill was really
You and Sam the Sleazebag, because of your lives before us and with us, are like what's it called? Honorary Philadelphians for a variety
Right.
of reasons.
Right.
We wouldn't
I think suburban New York is very
similar.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, like Delco, Bucks County, and suburban New York could all be intertwined, and you could only separate them by accent.
Yeah.
Like if you lined them up, it would be tough.
Like I send you those like Long Island reels.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and you know how many people I know from the island, so it's like
Yeah. Yeah,
I've
you
heard
gotta.
stories, and then yes, you just have to say.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, what a piece of Oyster Bay trash, like Jackie the Jokeman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start off news with exclusive news to us to knock them out the box. Neither of these have been broken yet. I don't know if they will until the time has come because both of them are going to take some time to get there. So Hamza Shiraz is obviously fighting Edgar Berlanga, correct, B? Hamza Shiraz got His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh's word that if he wins against Edgar Berlanga, he fights Canelo in early 2026. That's interesting for a variety of reasons, B. We're going to get into them again. When I said, guys, please send me that video audio of me saying that so I can clip that for when they do fight if my prediction comes correct. Brendan wrote me post Canelo fight, even though we're going to get into it, that he believes Canelo is a shot guy. I said don't steal my thunder because I said Bud would beat him and beat him easy before the school performance. But anyway, back to this news. B and I's prediction was regardless win, lose, or draw, it was going to go William Skull, Bud Crawford in September, and then some form of a Bum of the Month club. If this news is accurate, which I know that it is because we're talking horse's mouth stuff here, Hamza Shiraz can fight, and he's a real guy. He's not a Jake
He's got to
Paul.
get through Berlanga in New York.
Correct, which we don't know is going to happen. But what
Moving
I'm
up
saying,
8 pounds.
right. A lot of things. There's a lot of ifs. He looked shaky in that last fight. And we were hailing him. We were championing Hamza Shiraz to get back on that side, like others have done, because we were high on Shakur, then we weren't, then we were high on Shakur, then we were, it's
Yeah.
Brendan likes to say it's very much a what have you done for me lately sport that requires a series of good performances for us to go, okay, now we know who this guy is. You know what I mean? We thought Hamza Shiraz looked like a gun against Ammo Williams and packed him up. And Ammo Williams is no slouch. He can fight. You know what I mean? Is he elite? No, he's a good fighter.
Right, and he keeps getting dates, so
He keeps getting booked, as you like to say.
someone
Someone up
sees,
there likes him, and
yeah,
someone sees
someone sees
something.
something in him. Yeah.
Definitely. So,
Excuse me.
Brendan, our prediction of 2 more real fights for Canelo and then some sort of send off of anywhere from 2 or 4 monster
I mean,
crossover fights, at least for the very immediate future, meaning what, 8 months?
I I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think we'll see that sort of novelty fight a lot sooner if he loses to
Bud Crawford.
Bud Crawford. We will not see a Hamza Shiraz fight if he loses to Bud Crawford. That's for sure. I think he'll effectively slowly retire. I don't think he's going to fight a huge.
I think it depends on how the fight goes.
Well, look, he doesn't need the money. He just got rumor is $87 million.
To what degree do you believe that, Brendan? Not just with Canelo, but with people that we say this motherfucker's paid. To what degree do you believe it's now generational wealth where his kids don't
Yeah.
so his grandchildren don't have to work?
Like 3 or 4 years, he was on like the top athlete
The Forbes
Forbes.
highest
Yeah,
paid,
like
right.
like right in the middle behind like, some golfer you never heard of,
Right. Yeah.
which always blows my mind. Like that guy made $180 million last year, and
Right.
then of course like 3 soccer players and then the top guys, LeBron, Messi, um,
Cristiano
Cristiano
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. Yeah. Those are like the Steph Curry. It's like basketball players, soccer players, sprinkle in a boxer and some golfers, you know.
Excuse
Um,
me, Brendan. They
sure.
have him at
And a race car driver.
275 million.
Net worth.
Yeah. To
That's
me, that's not grandkids type stuff.
I unless you're living like I think it's pretty. It depends on how he sets everybody up. He's got
Yeah,
5 kids, right?
that's what I mean, Brendan. There's so many intangibles. What was the Chris Rock joke? Shaq rich. The motherfucker that signed his check is wealthy.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, 275 million is a gambling habit or coke habit over a long summer. From
Well,
being,
I mean, one of
Bruno
the guys.
Mars owed a casino like $67 million like 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And the dude is like the dictionary definition of pop star, rock star. Like you can't get bigger than that. No Sean Combs.
I wonder if he eats spam and goes to pig roast because he's Hawaiian.
Part Hawaiian.
Or he's from Hawaii. Yeah, I think he's Puerto Rican and
Puerto
Filipino.
Rican, yeah.
Filipino. Well, I think I heard recently that Floyd is surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that all the time. With Floyd's career earnings, a bright guy that's 10 generations of Mayweather, and I hear this guy owes everyone money. So it's
did you hear that thing that like it was going around the internet that like he bought up like $500 million worth of Manhattan real estate?
Yes.
And then there's
400 million.
There's no truth at all to it.
None. Zero.
You can look in, it's public record.
Well, that's the thing with these
property
guys.
Purchase.
That's the thing with these guys, and this applies to when you and I get off topic and talk about rap. You got to be careful when lying because a lot of shit's public record.
Well, my thing is like, who was lying? Was it Floyd or is it like Floyd fanboys that are like,
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a weird, it's a weird pocket watch thing, which of course we're doing now. But
well, we are serving a higher purpose here because of something you said. You said he doesn't need the money, and we're talking about boxing.
Right.
We are pocket watching, but we're doing it because we're trying to predict the moves of a pound for pound guy in the face of the sport. So I don't care what Canelo's worth. I just think there's a number that if you said he's worth $1 billion, right? Because we don't know other things he does. The Gatorade was worth 100 million. He plays golf because his swing is pretty nice, actually. I don't know if you've ever seen it swing.
Yeah, I've seen him play.
Yeah, he's got a nice swing. I don't know his other, there's cerveza commercials. So if I
don't see, I think the difference with a Canelo or even a golfer for that matter is it's all about their purses, not about the added endorsements. I don't think they make that much. Like Canelo's not selling us Fords. He's not.
I think he is over there. I think he is.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the same as here. You know what I'm saying? I don't think.
Think of how many people speak Spanish.
I could look it up. They actually have that.
we don't just have to do what is the what. So there's 300 plus million people in the United States. Of course, Mexico is nothing near that. But then you start adding on all the Spanish speaking people in the world. It's the second most. Is it the
Okay,
second
so
most or
here
the third most?
I'm gonna give you an
Arabic maybe
example.
too.
So in 2023, he was right behind LeBron James. He made $100 million in 2023, 10 million in endorsements. So 10% of his, which LeBron made $44.5 million in salary, okay, and 75 million in endorsements.
Okay, that's a lot
Uh,
of money.
yeah. Messi made 65 million in salary and 65 million in endorsements.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo, 46 million in salary, 90 million in endorsements.
And
And
that number's a little bit off the salary because Saudi gave him a
yeah.
gazillion. They gave him way more than 40.
All right. So like Roger Federer
Yeah.
in 2023 made $100,000 because he didn't play, but he
Yeah.
still made 95 million in endorsements. So
Sure.
what I'm saying is like, I'll give you a golf. Phil Mickelson made 106 million.
That's fucking crazy,
All
bro.
right.
I
But
mean, I
only
know him, but that he
but
makes that
but
much is
2 million in endorsements. So what I'm saying is boxers and golfers like Dustin Johnson made 107 million total. 102 in purse and winnings and 5 million in endorsements. So the endorsements for boxers and golfers because they're not as well known
I
aren't
got you.
aren't
I'm
as
just
crazy.
saying boxing is huge in the Latino community, not just Mexican. And there's 574 million people that speak Spanish in the world. So
I got
the market's also bigger.
right, but I mean I think they'll get a Spanish speaking soccer player to sell their shit.
Understood.
Yeah.
So your prediction is if Canelo loses to Terrence Bud Crawford in September, he is effectively retired from fighting world-class guys. And the next time we see him, we either don't see him again or it's against like a Jake Paul. Is
Correct.
yes, okay, fair enough. Also, the same little birdie told me. Um, again, this is I don't know when you can call things facts if they are, but it's still here. You know, it's
Well, it's
when
all hearsay because everything
yeah,
can change.
anything can change.
Yeah.
The Haney Garcia rematch is off the table due to their, and this is what the person said, shite performances in Times Square, which we would call shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that potential fight that was there. And in my opinion, if your opinion was, by this I'm talking to everybody in boxing land. Well, Devin did his part, but Ryan didn't do his. I say bullshit. I think
Bullshit.
Devin Haney looked as shitty in a win as Ryan Garcia did in a loss,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're both equaled out. So don't say that's why it's not happening.
No,
I'm telling you
make
what.
Devin Rowley,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I mean,
No, dude,
I don't want to see it, but
I don't want to see anybody that fought on that card
neither do I. Neither
ever
do I.
again.
No, we're gonna get to it, But all right, speaking of which, um, early projections for Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Times Square triple header placed the DAZN paper buys at least 260,000. Exact number not known yet and is coming. 260,000 at 50 clams a piece. What is your opinion of that? In what we think is good and bad. You and I argue
Well, I
about it.
mean, all right. So here's the perspective: is what Ben Eubank did 650.
That's new. That's a piece of news. Did we say that on the air? Or did we get that in between
No,
shows?
got in between shows.
Yeah. So someone hipped Brendan and I to the fact that didn't we hear 1 million at first?
Dude. All right, let me go off now. This fucking
Please.
Ariel Helwani, guys, mute him. I'm gonna say it outright now. He just doesn't report facts. I don't know what he reports. It's clickbait shit. He's the guy who reported the million, said he heard it from blah 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 blah. I mean, the next day Ring came out with the numbers for it and just said 650. So I'm not sure what he's trying to do. I know he's trying to be a boxing guy. His comments are outlandish.
Yeah, he's just not one. He doesn't know the sport. He
He
speaks
doesn't know the sport,
recklessly at
right?
all.
And he'll say stuff like,
Go back to MMA, my guy. And I don't even know if he knows that, but I don't know that, so I won't know. He
well,
can
he got
fill me.
thrown out of MMA apparently. Like they don't give him any
Okay.
creds or whatever. So he's come over here.
Okay.
Um, he is trying to be positive, it sounds like, but when you're being deceitful and or lack knowledge of what's happening, like when they said 1 million, I was like, wait a second, that doesn't seem right, based on how quickly they're coming back with the number. And apparently Eddie may have said it, but again, and no other journalist hopped on that because it's fucking Eddie the next day. You know what I mean?
Brendan,
Like
are we putting uh Ariel Hawani on that island you like to send people to?
I might. I'm gonna
Ready? Pack him up.
pack him up. Let's go. Shut the fuck up.
Pack up this Ariel
I mean,
Hawani.
I'll let him redeem himself if he says, you know what, guys, I was wrong. He won't.
Well,
Um,
you
but I'm
know you're
saying,
talking about a
but
specified thing. He doesn't
but
know what he's
bro,
talking about
he doesn't know
ever.
what he's talking about. This is all for engagement, though. This is
Yeah,
engagement
yeah.
farming. So
It's
I'll
weird.
just now. What I'm saying is, say let's hypothetically say Vin he took Eddie at his word, saying the million.
Sure. Sure.
I didn't see any other journalists hopping on that and putting that out
Neither
there.
did I.
And if they did, they were like early reports from Eddie Hurt. You know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Of course, they were very careful with how they worded it,
right.
and you know the
What
with
I'm saying
Eddie
is, get on and retract it. You know what I mean?
immediately.
Immediately. So, by the way, 650,000 pay-per-views this day and age is
That's
amazing for that.
that's what stars do, guys.
Right.
That's
So
what stars
you
do.
know, all
And
right, so
B and I's
so
B and I's
250,
number.
go ahead.
Well, B and I's not you and I number, Brendan. We were like, okay, these guys aren't elite.
Right. Not that well known.
They're huge over there.
Ryan's
Not
well
well.
known.
No. I'm going back to Conrad.
Yeah.
We were saying
Domestically huge.
domestically, you were talking about how it's your belief that people are relying on Gates. And I said, I still believe you have to do this number. And I think the number was like 200,000 for what we heard were the purses.
And they far exceeded it.
And they far exceeded it. And everyone that wrote us was wrong in terms of who said they don't care, they won't buy it, they won't do this. It exceeded everything. So
Well,
no one knows. And I'm not just saying those people were wrong. We were wrong in regards to.
One of our listeners said he thought it was, and he was the most accurate. He said it's big and it'll likely do, he thought 400,000.
Okay.
And
yeah, and I thought I remember thinking that's a lot. That's
a lot.
You know, for you're only this is only people in the UK care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the most part. For the most part.
Okay. So
back to this.
Back to
260,000. Where was your number? I don't think for whatever reason when we talk
I'll
about,
be honest, man, I thought like 150, 200. I didn't think it was going to do what it did. I'm surprised by that number because no one knows who Teofimo Lopez is, and no one knows who Devin Haney is, and no one knows who Rolly Ramiro is, and no one knows who the only person that's known really is Ryan Garcia, who headlined the fight, which last week, remember when we were doing it, I said, I can't believe he shouldn't be the headliner.
Yes, you said that. Absolutely. I guess so. All right. So let me back this answer up and rephrase it. Is 260,000 buys impressive to you for a pre-loss Ryan Garcia coming off a year layoff? You know, the social media's first boxing star, all of that.
Am I impressed by the number of 260,000?
What did you expect from a Ryan Garcia headliner? Where is your number with him?
Okay, maybe I'm very biased, not a little biased, but I forget that he's as big a star or perceived to be as big a star as he is. So maybe I'm the wrong person to ask, but I do host the show.
No, you're not, because now we have to talk about, is he another Tank thing? It's a myth. It's you called it something earlier when we were referencing not the pocket watching, but these myths. What they're selling you as on Instagram. These rappers.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of a Lambo, but I live in an apartment in Lawrence, or like I'm getting out of I live in Port Jeff, or I live in Bucks County, but I'm getting out of a car that's more than the houses where the guy's from.
Right.
So it's like, have people been the smoke and mirrors, you can't use smoke and mirrors when you start getting data. It's the same way that you go, all you have to do is look at these guys' Spotify numbers. Yo, why does that guy never tour? If you ask me, I go, because he can't, because 7 people will show up if they go,
Right,
and
because
there's
you're
no
not getting
demand.
booked.
They're not getting booked
Well,
because no
it's
agency wants
well, I
them.
mean,
And
it's also this era of social media. A guy will have 500,000 followers, and then he'll post something, get 6 likes on it.
correct.
Or if you
Oh,
or one comment, 6 likes, and then you look at the 6 likes, and it's all bots.
correct. And this all goes under what you and I, as being older heads, call smoke and mirrors, because
Right.
younger people fall for it.
Oh
I
yeah.
told you those rap dudes that we talk about sometimes, and younger kids will go, "Oh, because blank is rich," and I'm like, "Yo, that dude,
Not
like,
really.
no, I mean, he's not even well off. He's struggling."
Well, I remember like they post pics. I kind of know my way around watches.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd post pictures of watches
Fake
long
watches, fake
long
heels.
before we ever did this show. I'm like, well, he just ruined it, made a $10,000 watch worth $1,500.
Oh, I don't know who you're
You
talking
know.
about with that one. If someone had a $10,000 watch,
Well,
they must have had money. The people I'm talking about,
well, let's just say a pre-owned Datejust, right?
uh-huh.
So they took all their tour money and
Yeah, I
bought a
remember.
pre-owned Datejust and then iced it out.
Yeah,
And I'd go, well, you just went to 47th Street and
correct,
gave a guy, 8 grand for the watch,
correct,
put $1,000 in worthless diamonds in it, and now made an
correct.
$8,000 watch worth $900.
Yeah, you're jamming baguettes into a yachtmaster,
Right.
you
And
know,
ruining
or
it.
even ruining it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Um,
putting pave diamonds on a the bracelet alone is worth like 2 grand,
right,
and you just made it worthless. No one's ever
right.
gonna buy it, if you wanted to trade it, sell it, or otherwise. Anyway, um,
What do you think about 260? Can you step away from how you feel about a lot of these fighters and their performances and say, do you think that the zone
I
and
th- I
this
think
Ring Magazine
I I
arm?
I think they basically gave this 1 week's promotion, right?
Mhm.
Because they had to wait for Ben. It really appeared that they waited for Ben Eubank to be over to kick it into high gear. Like I said,
Agreed.
last Monday I was in the city. I didn't see anything. And then,
Hmm.
well, guys, we record on Monday. And then as we reported on it, I, on the fights, I said, oh no, excuse me. As the show came out, we reported on the fights. I didn't see anything. When the show came out, there was other people that were in the city going, the ring is here. They started to construct it like midweek, so I missed it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But it looked like, do you feel that way too? They waited for Ben Eubank to be over, and then they got into like promoter mode for this for a week.
I do, which I think is poor planning.
Correct. So with that said, and we're looking at the cup half full here, or at least on my end, I guess 260 is okay. It was only one title fight. It's a get back between Ryan and Devin, fighting different opponents, not fighting each other. Had they made Ryan and Devin and made that the headliner, I think it would have done better. I think I said to you either on the show or privately, why aren't they just fighting again? Why are we doing a tune-up?
You and I both don't understand. They're coming off fighting each other 1 year ago on the same day. They fought each other. You
Right.
both have the exact amount of time to, I'm doing air quotes, recuperate or whatever that means, because one popped hot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, and Ryan Garcia pissed dirty, and Haney decided to take a full year off for whatever reason, you know.
Dude, I don't know,
So
man.
them not fighting each other, really, all of this and it falling apart falls on them.
Yeah. I I really don't know what to say about it. It's there was again no guests. Now they claimed that there was 400,000 people uh in the vicinity. I also find that sort of hard to believe. No.
I, it didn't look like more than 20,000 to me when they were out on the streets.
I mean, Ring reported that 400,000 people, that
I
they
mean, you
had.
start getting into
But
400,000 people, you're talking about Times Square New Year's Eve numbers, and I
but
didn't
what?
see that with my
But
eyes.
hang on, Vin. What I'm saying is, what's the total number of people that walk through Times Square every day?
That's what I mean. It's got to be a couple million, right?
Well, I think during the day, during work hours, there's
Yeah,
something like there's only 2.5 million people that live on the island of Manhattan,
right.
right? But I think during work hours, it goes like 10 times that.
Of course,
I mean, I don't
of
think 20
course.
million people commute in. Maybe they do. I don't know. But um, I don't.
I don't know. All the other thing be on a triple header, um, all with guys,
So
regardless.
330 people pass through Times Square daily, while over 460,000 pedestrians walk through Times Square on its busiest day. So for them to claim there's 400,000 people, that's like
It's a
Tuesday.
normal day. It's just a Tuesday of people walking through Times Square.
Right. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I
I
mean, when they would cut to people that were clearly boxing fans at that event, there was like pockets of hundreds. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, like someone waving a flag of a Mexican flag, someone waving a Cuban flag. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of people that were clearly there for
hmm
this.
hmm
I just I don't really know, man. I don't really know.
I'm actually gonna jump ahead to what we normally do, and I'm gonna read some mail this week or this for this show that we'll normally do because it covers this and it's
Okay.
relevant.
Okay.
And it's from our guy DJ Absurd. DJ Absurd, you're getting the first mail read in the middle of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
hang your hat on that, my
Mm-hmm.
friend. Real quick, guys. He says, "What up, guys? Went to Times Square on Friday, and as expected, it was a shit show. Wound up watching at Dave and Buster's,
Wow.
which
Why
when
do you say Dave and Buster so weird? You put the emphasis on Dave. The emphasis is on Buster's.
so I should say Dave and Buster's.
You're going Dave and Buster.
It's Dave and Buster's.
Where's Irish Billy? Please correct him.
Brendan's totally incorrect.
Thank you.
Dave
Thank you.
and Buster's.
Right.
You guys
Buster
said
is the guy.
Dave is the.
Dave, you're like, ah.
I don't like Buster. Buster's probably his dog. All
Who
right,
says Dave and Buster's?
Dave and
Right.
Buster's.
Dave and
Me,
Buster.
me, I do. All right,
New Yorkers say, Billy, they say they're also idiots with a winter coat. Winter coat.
it's a winter
Yeah.
coat.
It's a
You
winter
get
coat.
you
Winter
guys
Winter
don't
coat.
coat.
you guys don't even pronounce T's. So you just said a winter coat, like you just crossed the finish line
Yeah, I'm moron.
with a
No, I
coat on.
didn't. No, I
Yeah, you
didn't.
did.
Winter.
You're fired, Brendan.
Please continue.
Yeah, all right. Now you knocked me off my
No, I
yeah, you
didn't.
guys know how
DJ
hard it is for
Absurd.
me to
DJ
read.
Absurd. Yeah, it's true. DJ Absurd.
All right, he says cool backdrop on TV, but blocking the fans from seeing it from the street was stupid. So the fans apparently DJ Absurd says the fans couldn't see it from the street. Anyway, wanted to write in uh oh no, then he goes into Bud Canello. So that's all you
Okay.
get for that one. So anyway, he
Okay.
had to go to Dave and Buster's to watch it. So
Wow.
this weird that they did this.
But what's more weird that they did this or how you say Dave and Buster?
I'm not going to change for you. All right.
Okay.
I am who I am.
This is the
Okay.
second time you've taken umbrage with Billy and I. The other one was with the bets. You somehow think you control the bet that
I can
involves you.
listen. I control how things are said.
If
I
I
control the
go,
bets.
Brendan, it's over
I
under
control
20.
the show.
If I go over under 20 points, this Brendan Long scores tonight,
Let,
you can't have a say in it.
let
You
me tell you
control
something.
it. You can just
If
flop.
if I don't write the format for this show,
Yeah, that I have to
it
fix.
it doesn't go.
Mm-hmm.
The show don't go.
The one to the reason I'm late every time on here because I have to clean it up. That one.
Clean it up. No,
Mhm.
you just add in fights from Jabip. You know
It's
that
not true. It's not true.
Yeah, it is.
I do
You
like the
know,
Jabip though. I do like the Jabip. I can't
um,
front. All right, let's so listen. There's two bits of news in this one. Theoretically three, and I hate two of them. Canelo Alvarez will face Terence Crawford at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on September 12th. The bout will be promoted by Dana White. September 12th is a Friday. I hate it. Dana White is a fucking lowlife. I hate it. Brendan, please.
Why a Friday? What's happening Saturday? And that's where the Raiders play, right?
Yes, Billy, can you
Okay.
see if anything is happening September
And
13th, 2025
uh,
that would knock this off its square, Billy? Is it some sort of
September 12th, at least not September 11th.
yeah, that's dark. On
Where
the
is it?
anniversary of the Allegiant, that's where the Raiders play. So Vegas.
The Raiders. Now that's a retractable dome. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? So September in Nevada, as they
In early September is
it's fucking hot.
fucking hot as Hades.
Oh, did you see it was 53 degrees at fight time in Times Square?
I did. Brendo, do you think that there's a possibility that they don't want to have to if the Raiders are home, they don't want
The
to go from
Raiders.
Saturday to turn it into a football stadium in that quick a time
Can they
It says a UNLV football game.
at Allegiant, Billy?
on
Yeah.
Saturday, the next
Yeah.
day?
On Saturday.
Wow.
So why
Billy,
all
Billy,
right,
as someone who only
why are they booking it there then?
right, then don't book it there. Go to back to Jerry's World or something.
Yeah,
But then
college
they,
football is always on Saturdays.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Billy, do you think this is weird knowing that you typically only sniff around when it's a huge fight? Do you find this off-putting a Friday night? Or are you just like, I don't care when it is?
The way they start late, I don't think for me personally it matters if it's a Friday night.
Okay.
I don't like the logistics for the West Coast fans out there. So what the hell time are they going to start
To
this
get
on
home
the
from
East
work.
Coast?
Right, exactly, Brandon.
Right.
Exactly. You started out here with they're going to make the card huge, regardless of if they're great fights or not. They're going to make a big card. The prelims are going to start at fucking what, be 6 on the East, which is
Yeah.
3 there. So you're going to work that day? Are you calling out for a fight? Um, it's also that's Mexican Independence Day weekend. You know what I mean? In on the West Coast where a huge Mexican population. So we know that's why they're having it there. I'd love to know how everyone out there feels about this.
Bro, I
So
don't like it
guys, what
for a fight this big.
I
And
don't like it.
historically, you and I are old now, or as you know, seasoned. We're not really old. We're just
Seasoned men, seasoned veterans.
we're seasoned vets.
We're grizzled vets.
Friday night was always reserved for lesser fights.
Correct.
Sat, sat Showbox.
Friday night fights, show box. This is up and coming guys,
Right.
prospects, possible contenders. And even remember they used to do that on weekends of big fights?
Yeah.
They put Canelo and Bud on Saturday, and at a small club in Vegas, have a nice little show box.
They just did it
card.
for Bud Madrimov.
Yep.
After the weigh-ins, they had fights on the Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah, and we thought it was great. We were bigging it up.
Fantastic
Great idea.
I'm
So did they
baffled.
have fully intended to do this at Allegiant Stadium on September 13th and said, fuck. And this Dana White is such a fucking gremlin that cares so little about tradition that he goes, oh, just move to Friday.
Or are they putting their stamp on it? Meaning Turkey, Dana,
yes, I think that's exactly what they're attempting.
What is the name of the
TKO?
No, but IMG. What is the parent company?
It's like the massive one is Endeavor.
Endeavor,
like
yeah, right.
Huge one is Endeavor, and then this is TKO, which is like
subsidiary.
Dana, WWE, and like obviously Turkey is now like involved because he was at a WWE John in the front row at like a pay-per-view. Maybe it might have been Mania, I think, maybe.
All right, so
recently, so these guys are yeah, great question. Are they trying to shift things around? Sundays, Fridays,
right.
Now, like Brendan said, it's not weird to have Friday night fights. It's not weird to have Tuesday night fights. It's weird to have monster fights on those nights.
Because you want guys, you want people available.
Yeah, you guys have to understand the West. Of course, in Saudi, it doesn't matter because their days are shifted. Because the Juma is like Friday is their Saturday, Saturday is their Sunday, and then Sunday they're at work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In Muslim in religious Muslim countries, but this fight is being held in the West. The West is like, oh, I have off Saturday and Sunday. That's most working people. Of course, there's people that don't work that, but most do. Saturdays are, Saturdays and Sundays, sports here are set up so that you're relaxed. You're not going to work that day. You can
Yeah.
do this, get the kids taken care of if you got to. Da 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 da. A Friday night anything in the West is very much like you're running around with your head chopped off to try to get this to watch this fight. Are the kids fed? What are we doing for dinner? When does this start? Da, 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 da. It's very weird. I don't like it. I'm very curious if it was set when they first mentioned it for September 13th. I'm very curious. Very curious. And the UNLV game or I don't know what. And then Billy, are the Raiders playing on the 13th?
I don't think they have that listed yet.
Oh, the schedule's on out yet?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're like equating this to like, but it's a live event, so no. But like a movie release, right? Movies come out on Fridays.
Correct.
Are they going to try to package it like that? But again, it doesn't.
No, you're right. We can keep trying to think. It's like, remember, records came out on Tuesdays. And they just stopped and started it on Fridays. They just changed everything. Like, what are you talking about? No, we will get out of school.
Tuesday.
Get out of school, run to the spot, see what's there. Make sure you told your man to hold something for you.
Yep. And if you knew Richie Signorelli at RPM Sounds, where I grew
get
up,
it on Monday.
I got it on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Yep. When it came in,
yeah,
he would call us up and we'd go down there and get whatever came in early, sometimes a week early. And we got promos.
My guy was Dave Romani. What's your guy's name?
Richie Signorelli.
Signorelli and Romani.
Yeah. Shout out to Richie at RPM Sounds. He's a legend.
Shout out to Rabenga too. That was his nickname.
He was the best. You'd go in there, right? And he would not to digress too far, but he would go, all right, boys, tell me who's hot. You know what I mean? And we would tell him like what to get, what to
order. Yeah.
What to order, yeah.
Those dudes did that with me too.
And I steady had the promo posters he'd get, like the ones they put in the window.
Same here.
He'd have them rolled up for me.
It sounds like we had like the exact same relationship.
Same connect.
With our guys. Yep. No puff. Bam Rodriguez will take on Fumalela Cafu in a WBC WBO Super Flyweight Unification fight, which we already covered.
Yep.
And Diego Pacheco will step up to face Trevor McCumbee on a July 19th
that's interesting.
Matchroom show off at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas. It is very interesting. McCumbee did well against Caleb Plant until he didn't. We think Pacheco should be fighting Christian and Billy type guy, a highly ranked guy that isn't Canelo, which it trickles down. You'll hear Brendan and I talk over and over and over again about this is a one guy division or this is a two guy division. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Billy and Pacheco should be fighing. Let's just.
But I kind of like the McCumbee fight. He's tough.
He's tough. Yeah. I want to be clear. I'm not hating on it. I just think those guys are I think they're there.
Why can't they do that? What's going on? Is it promotional shit?
It's like that Eye of the Tiger is like through the US.
I'm Googling that. Yeah.
Is via, but like through here, they're like funneled to the US through Bob and Top Rank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is who is holding that up? Was there an offer from so Eddie is with Matchroom, Eddie and Matchroom have Diego, right?
Yes.
Did they offer him Billy something that he poo-pooed? Two undefeated guys, and Billy can crack.
I mean, and Billy is the top of their masthead. He is like the biggest guy they got.
Who
and Billy?
Christian and Billy, Diego Pacheco fight this week. Who do you pick?
Pacheco. You know who's promoted by them? Dragon Claggett.
You know who else is? The Wolf.
The Wolf. I was just gonna say.
Because when you said and Billy, to me, if you're talking about who has the biggest name, it's Christian and Billy. If you're talking about who's the best fighter, it's the Wolf, meaning Eye of the Tiger. That's why it's my personal.
Yeah, opinion. I'm saying like who they got at the top.
No. I got you. I also Christian and Billy's 30, bro. And isn't Diego
Is he
older?
really?
Yeah, these guys.
No,
That's
Diego's younger because they had him since he was 18.
what do you think he is? 24, 25?
I think he's 23.
Oh, he's that young?
He's 24. He just turned 24.
Well, look, and Billy's fighting Sulecki, who's tough. Next month. B, you got him. If those guys both win, you got them fighting within what, 2-3 weeks of each other? If Diego Pacheco beats Trevor McCumbee and Christian and Billy beats Sulecki, who only loses to really good guys. He lost to Pacheco. He lost to UD to Andrade, who at that time was like on a tear and was still undefeated. And he lost to a prime Danny Jacobs, not an old one. You know? They're three really capable fighters. You know what I mean?
When was the last time Billy fought? Oh, there he is.
Derevyanchenko.
And that was
And you
in
hated
August.
that fight.
Yeah.
And I said, this is going to be a fucking. I said, Derevyanchenko's still good. And you said he's getting packed up.
And I was
sleeping
wrong.
on my mans. What do you feel about what I'm saying, Brendan? All right. Christian and Billy and Sulecki next month. Diego Pacheco, Trevor McCumbee
In July.
on this card in July 19th. In the fall.
I like
October.
it. Make it.
Make it though. Make it if they both win. Don't go. Who else is it floating around at 68 now, bro? If it's someone we think is good, they're young. They're like a passive
Make this fight. They're on a collision course. Make it.
Collision course to be the real guy at 68, guys, because there are no guys at 68 anymore for Canelo.
Well, Osley Iglesias and Christian and Billy have the same promoter. Same weight class. Do you see that one being
is he ready for that?
Who? Iglesias?
Yeah.
He's 27. He's 13-0, and he's Cuban. So he's 31.
So he's 48, and he had.
No one talks about that guy.
He had 40 pro fights in Mexico that aren't on the record.
Right. You're right. They.
He's like Haney with the loss in Mexico. They just scrubbed him. Okay. Brendan, I like to give him this bad news, so I got to give him the good news. Jarrell Big Baby Miller is out of the June 7th fight.
Oh, no.
With Fabio Wardley. You want to cry, Brendan?
Oh, no.
Are you crushed?
What am I going to do?
Well, this is a little bit more funnier. Ready?
Smell better?
Wardley will now face, this is fucking, just please listen to what I say before I say his name.
The corpse of George Foreman?
WBO #1 ranked heavyweight, Justice Hooney, for the vacant WBA interim world title on June 7th, live on DAZN. So he's ranked #1 in the BO, but he's getting a shot for an interim world title for a BA strap, because I guess the BA stripped Usyk again. Now they're stripping Usyk after he got back. You know what I mean? So now he doesn't have 2 belts. So they stripped him of the IBF.
Does anybody else? Because I said this a couple of years ago, how much I dislike heavyweights. And then of course I go against what I'm saying when I say like Usyk is my favorite fight, like my favorite athlete right now.
Yeah, it's understandable, man. He's bigger, not physically. That's a bad term. He transcends divisions. That's why you like him. And
I don't like heavyweights.
No, what's there to like?
See what's happening here? I
don't like. And this is why we don't like it, guys. Either Fabio Wardley or Justice Hooney is going to be the WBA interim championship in a couple weeks, guys. A couple weeks, in less than a month.
Someone's gonna write me and tell me like I'm sleeping on Wardley and Hooney.
I mean, maybe they'll beat the shit out of each other. It doesn't mean they don't stink.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was curious about this because you and I have been sort of going nuts regarding fights in places not here because we're ignorant Americans. We spoke about this, I don't think on air, just off air. So here we go with a little bit of news. The May 28th Eduardo Sugar Nunez fight. Sugar Nunez is really good. Masanori Rikishi IBF Super Featherweight World Title fight will stream live on DAZN in the US, UK, and other select territories. Guys, by the way, that's a really good fight, and that's in a couple weeks. That's a scrap, bro. That's got those fights when we come on here that we watched at 5 a.m. and tell everyone go watch that.
Yeah.
This is gonna be one of them where we're gonna say, yo, this was a scrap. Lastly, Frank Warren has said that they've sold 60,000 tickets in the first 24 hours of general sale for the July 19th Alexander Usyk Daniel Dubois fight at London's
Holy
Wembley
shit.
Stadium. So that's going to be sold out. Not great for the sport, guys. London, UK in general, thank you. You're doing massive things for this sport that we are not doing here. 65,000, a few 100,000 pay-per-views for two guys that aren't elite, and now you have the world. You've been granted a heavyweight lineal world title fight over there, and you show out. 60,000 are gone. What is the cap at Wembley when it's open? 100? I know one fight did like 85,000 there.
Carl Froch. He always says that.
He'll tell you.
He'll tell you.
50.
Yeah. Wembley
Stadium capacity.
That's what I'm looking up.
I know.
That's what I'm looking up.
I didn't know if that was the word you were going to use, dickhead.
I'm not. Could you just take it easy there?
I won't. You're being fresh.
Oof, you're being a real fucking turd today.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Showed up late.
A real gindaloon?
You're being get a little fucking annoyed, all right? 90K, baby.
90K. Yeah, so that's a wrap. Sold out.
90,000 people.
I know, man. So, okay, guys, we're gonna talk about this weekend in depth a little bit.
Wait, real quick, we didn't report on it. Hold on. Did you see that Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu will be fighting in a rematch?
You sent it to me when you heard about it, and I forgot to put it down then, which I should have. Can I just say this, regardless of what I think about that? I love that it's not a Thurman fight. So you couldn't have sent me anything where I would have been vexed, because all I wanted was not Thurman involved in it with any of these people. And I said he shouldn't be rewarded, and I said what I said, and I stand on what I said, and someone somewhere agreed.
Yeah. Well, it's
what is the date, Brendan?
So
July?
It will be in Vegas.
I like that too.
I'm looking right now. July 19th is a possible date for the rematch, but nothing's been finalized. Okay. If not July, Sebastian Lukowicz says August. And
well, that July 19th date we already spoke about. So unless they want to do the 19th is the heavyweight fight, right? Unless they want to do that at night in Vegas, because that's during the day on two continents. That's no problem.
It won't be July 19th, I don't think.
I don't either. I think it'll be early August.
So Xander Zayas was supposed to get a shot at Fundora. That won't happen. Tim Tszyu, because apparently there was a rematch clause. So Tim Tszyu exercised the rematch clause. They'll make that. Xander Zayas will now fight, I believe, for a vacant belt against
vacant, as my nephew would say.
Vacant against the guy who just beat Charles Conwell. So poor Charles Conwell, our guy, loses, and Jorge Garcia Perez will fight Xander Zayas.
And I get proven wrong because I said Charles Conwell lost, right? I had him winning, but he lost. But I'll bet you he still gets a good fight. Boom, right away, proven wrong within a couple of weeks that he does not get rewarded. And he legitimately lost the title shot.
Yeah.
From that.
So he goes back of the line. And let me see. So Sebastian, they will fight for the WBO super welterweight title, which Fundora gave up to rematch Tim Tszyu. Okay.
And then
that just puts a bow on news.
I love if they make the winner of Tszyu Fundora 2 against the winner of Zayas and what's his name. They both have belts. Start unifying with that one right there.
Yeah.
And make that one.
That's a really tough fight
It is.
for Zayas.
It is. It's really, that kid's good.
That's not a gimme. Like, he might lose that fight.
No, he might lose that fight. When it gets, I'd love to see when it gets official. It's official.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the early odds right away, what they are. I bet they start off close to being even and starts going against Zayas if you know what
Yeah.
Okay, guys, Friday, the Zone pay-per-view, 50 Clan Marinos, Times Square. Rieto Tsutsumi, pro debut versus Lavelle Whittington, 1-2-1. This guy does not look like a 1-2-1 fighter. This Tsutsumi sits in the pocket and throws hard shots, bad intentions. It's rare you see a pocket fighter with great feet, but he has them. You can tell that he has all the tools in the toolbox that we'll see more of, angles, etc. Big shouts to Lavelle Whittington. Best 1-2-1 fighter I've ever seen. Get him another fight, B. That kid. He could fight. UD for Rieto Tsutsumi, good fighter. Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza Jr. WBO super lightweight ring titles. Look, the other sanctioning bodies may have stripped him, but Teo is the guy at 140.
Yeah.
Josh Taylor was the lineal champ, and Teo beat him. So let's not muddy the waters here. Other guys have belts, fine, good for them. B, what was our predictions? I know we picked Teo, but I think I said he's going to pack him up, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I said it'll go
UD for
UD.
Teo. Yeah, good call, B. Teo with intelligent use of his athleticism early on for me. Nice jab to the body, nice jab up top. When Barbosa would lead, Teo was throwing a beautiful pull counter right hand. The hand speed was frustrating Barbosa. Teo would crack him with 2 shots, get out of there using his feet. Complete clinic from this Teofimo. Barbosa would land a right hand every now and then, but it was one and done. Teo wasn't letting him follow it up. Quick observation, Mr. Long.
Mm-hmm.
When Teofimo Lopez throws the jab, he dips his head to the right every time. I'm not talking something I'm talking a tick, like it's all the time. It would behoove a future opponent to throw a short left hook counter. That trainer's got to see that. Anyway, I had it 119, 109, Teofimo in maybe the best performance of his career, other than Josh Taylor. There's always and always will be an asterisk against Lomachenko. He won, fair, but I can't. The guy's shoulder was torn off his arm.
Well, and the second half of the fight, Teo didn't look great.
Yeah, I had that fight to draw.
My takeaway from this, and I think I've had this takeaway in the past with Teo. Hats off to the performance. He really marks up bad.
He does.
He does not have like a durable.
No, because he wasn't getting touched up like that for how he looked.
And he looked like he hit with a bat.
He did.
He always looks like he got hit with a fucking bat. So I do. It is cause for concern in terms of elite competition at the bigger weights, as we saw against the bigger guy, like Barboza. The pop isn't there. You know what I mean? He's not going to score the highlight reel KOs that he did in the past. But you know what? He kind of, if you look at his record, he sort of like found some, obviously the Comey fight is what everyone remembers.
Yes.
Absolutely. But he's not.
Did him dirty.
He did him dirty, and then some other guys, but again,
look, he was fucking huge at 35. No Sean Combs. A monster.
Yeah.
What do you think about? Look, I'm just saying this because I just want to hear your response. What do you think about him calling out Boots?
I don't think it's genuine.
I don't either. That's why I'm glad we agree.
And I think he says stuff because, again, what we're talking about, it's clickbait, it's engagement farming.
He is the boxer version of Helwani. Just talk, even when he's not being obnoxious. Because I don't think he said it. He didn't disrespect Boots. He didn't say. He was pretty polite post fight.
He don't want that shit.
Boots will beat shit down his leg
badly.
Badly.
It's not close.
No.
Okay, next.
Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez.
Ugh.
Look,
Oh my
we called a stinker.
God.
Look, the only
Hold on,
thing.
I just fell asleep.
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
could you
I didn't mean
just
to. I
just
didn't.
wake me
I
up
said
as
his
soon
name
as as soon as you say it?
right. It's Nyquil.
We went from Barboza, but okay.
Yeah,
So can we just cement real quick before we move on how boring Barboza is?
yeah,
He's
sure. I
fucking
mean,
boring, that
we
guy.
gotta, but we're going from
Sorry,
one.
Arnold. I love you. I love your name, but
Who's gonna out boring Haney? The only thing this kid has is the jab, and he wasn't throwing it. Fighting scared. When I say scared, it's capitalized
oh my
on
God,
his
bro.
bike. Ramirez coming forward, but wasn't letting his hands go. Wasted opportunity after wasted opportunity. Haney doing nothing. Ramirez doing less than nothing.
Less than nothing. Oh my
Awful
gosh.
performances from both guys, but Ramirez is at the tail end of his career. And Haney is 26, and he and his father will tell anyone that'll listen that he's an elite pound for pound guy. Big difference there. That's complete nonsense. He's not, and he's going to get packed up within his next 2 or 3 fights as they move him on to bigger and better fighters.
You
I,
think they will, Vinny?
I'm curious now if they will. They've already lost that bit. I don't think it's a big fight, meaning a good fight, but they lost a big money fight in Garcia rematch because of shit performances. I had a 119, 109 Devin Haney in an
Yeah,
awful performance.
awful.
Judges had it 119, 109 twice and 118,
And
110.
let's not excuse Ramirez here either.
No, no,
This
no. I,
was
I said missed opportunity after missed opportunity. This guy's doing nothing, so you got to do something.
this sucked.
Yo, when we say we don't want to see this guy again, I don't know if we've ever said it about a 26-year-old
I don't
that's
want to see him again.
undefeated. I don't want to see fucking Devin
I
Haney.
will not look forward to covering his fights for the rest of his career.
You're going to get rewarded because he's gonna get packed up, and this is going to turn ugly really quick. I'm going to call it as quickly as a Jeff Lacey career.
I don't know if I've disliked a dad of a fighter as much as I dislike Bill Haney.
Oh, he's rough, man. He's rough. But this kid's getting packed up, and the only way we keep seeing him is remember Jeff Lacey got packed up and then hung around for like another 5 years.
Yeah.
Like if Haney just wants to keep getting beaten up, I guess we might see him for another until he's.
See, I don't think they'll allow that to happen. I think I'll be honest with you. If he gets abused, let's say, okay,
He's going to.
okay, so I trust you, Tony Taro, the great Pazzini. So not if, when he gets abused,
Yes,
and drubbed and bludgeoned, they don't continue to fight. What they do is they will sell the demise of his career on the steroids that Ryan Garcia was supposedly on or was on. I have some points to make about that.
please.
Ryan Garcia losing this fight to Rolly Romero, and we'll get into it, was the best thing that can happen to Devin Haney's career and reputation. See how he looks not on steroids?
Yep.
And you know what? There might be something to it.
There might be.
Because you know what? I can't sit here and say Conor Benn looks awful off of steroids and looked like a different fighter on steroids. Ryan Garcia, if what he may or may not have been on, what he was masking, I don't know. Allegedly looked like a different guy against Rolly Romero. Not that we ever thought Ryan was good.
See, I think that's another big takeaway from this weekend that I said, well, we're going to come to the show with something. We're bringing something to the table to this particular episode. And that is 6 guys fought, with the exception of saying when Teo's on, he's on and looks good. We pretty much at separate times have said either you insisted that Ramirez was a once good guy who is now washed, and we pretty much said everyone else stinks at some point in the previous 129 episodes. So for boxing Twitter and IG that are all going, this guy got, my tweet was, this is who Devin Haney is and has always been. Whatever y'all saw, talk to me, because this is
and who we thought Ryan Garcia was. A guy who gets hit too much.
Luke Campbell put him on his back pocket.
And all these guys have leaky defense.
Yes, they get hit.
And Haney,
they're chinny.
Yeah.
You know what?
And Barboza's boring. So I think we were right.
Right. And we say Teo's the kind of dude that if he's up for it, he can look great. He has looked great. He was the real guy at 35. He's the real guy at 40. Do I view him that way personally? Does he ever crack our top 10? No, to both of them. But you can't argue with what happened. You know what I mean? He was lineal at 35. He is lineal at 40. Josh Taylor's a really good fighter, and he beat him. We said, looking back, was he on the tail end? We both believe so, Taylor. That was the start of the ending.
Sure.
We don't think he should be fighting now. This fight that he has this
summer.
Your
motherfucking ending.
So, Ryan Garcia, Rolando Romero, 147 pounds. Garcia down in round 2 from a left hook, right on the button. Post knockdown, neither guy did much. I don't understand what either guy was doing.
Hey, to me, Rolly was brilliant. I'll just do a tiny bit more than this guy.
I think Rolly should have gone for broke after the knockdown. That's just what I would have done, knowing now. That's what I'm thinking then. After what I saw, maybe it was a good game plan.
Not for us.
Right. Garcia should have established that jab, two behind it, and then set up that left hook. He's not good. There was no sense of urgency from anyone on this entire card. And I don't understand it. Again, one guy looks like shit. The other guy says, hold my beer. I had it 114, 113 with the knockdown being the differences. The difference. My apologies.
Let's talk about this a little bit. Sorry. I'm sorry, Vinny.
Judges had it 115, 112 twice, and 118, 109 for Rolly Romero. 115, 112 twice is way more realistic to what it was. So do you hear that? What is that?
I don't know.
Was that Billy?
Must have been.
Was it someone saying I got a ribeye?
What was that, Bill? Are you ordering food?
I think it's his wife.
Just continue on.
No, I'm glad we didn't hear any personal conversation.
Right.
You know, like get in bed. I need some of that Irish Piscadillo.
Yeah, I need some of that Irish virus.
You never heard the quote unquote ribeye?
I don't know if I want to know what that is.
I don't want to know anything about that.
Is that what she calls you? A nice piece of ribeye?
Right. Go ahead. Romero, Garcia.
Now I lost my
Rolly now gets another big fight with someone.
Yeah. Rolly will get a big fight. I want to see Ryan Garcia retire. Sucks. Oh, what I was gonna say was 53 degrees at fight time. In New York, okay?
Yeah.
Do you think some of these performances, being that, as you stated, 6 guys on the card, 5 of which are West Coast, Southern California, and or a Las Vegas fighter, 2 Vegas fighters in Haney and Romero. Garcia and Ramirez are from Southern California, I believe, right? And Teofimo Lopez trains in Florida. I mean, some of the logistics of it, it's like, doesn't really make sense. They had Barboza's from California too. He's from LA. So they had a bunch of guys fighting outside in New York who are from warm places. You think that could be a reason for how flat anyone was, or am I looking too deeply into it?
I think that if it was a reason, I don't give a fuck. Prepare.
Okay. I'm with you.
You don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Then put the air on in the gym. make it brick. There's
Um,
in
I could tell you right now, even including Teofimo Lopez, if I don't see any of these guys ever again, I wouldn't be upset. I don't really need to see Teo fight.
no, I don't need to. No, I
And
don't need.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't need to hear Teo in a lead up to a fight.
We're breaking down 6 supposed names, and I just had to say, oh, this guy looked the best.
Looked
So
the best. He certainly did.
He came to win. He wanted to win. He was in shape.
But I'm lumping him in with the other
That's
5.
fair. I don't. I mean, we're not. Look, he's 2 times lineal, and he's not on the knock him out the box pound for pound. I don't think that we have to deep dive into whether or not you and I like him as a fighter or human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he has a great performance. Then 3 stinkers, a couple of them that you think he might have lost. You know what I mean? He could have lost. I thought he lost to Sandor Martin. I thought it was really close against Jermaine Ortiz, and then you bounce back with a nice one, and then you look like shit the next. It's like, look, Barbosa, you know, won a belt, and Teo beat him. So he did what he had to do, which is more than I can say for the
other 5 guys.
Yeah, so I don't care if I see any of these bozos again. Pack them up.
Pack them up.
They're all young, so we're supposed to say this is the future. Pack them up. There's enough.
That king talk has to stop.
Yeah, there's enough Pazzi prospects to go right into their spots after a couple of fights.
Prospects to go around. Moving on to Saturday.
The zone pay-per-view, the venue Riyadh season, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Shout out to our guy for Corey Erdman for all of his great work and being rewarded with a big assignment. I like that on both parts. You do the good work, you do the assignments that are a little bit rougher, small club fights do well. Then you get a couple bigger ones, and then what that lead to the, you know, calling a card with the face of boxing. Corey Erdman's great, man. Salute to that kid, man. Muhammad Alakal, 4-0, 0 KOs versus Alexander Morales. Muhammad Alakal isn't good. They better keep him strictly in Saudi, strictly as the first bout for the rest of his career. If they do anything other than that, he's getting packed up. If they want to have a local guy, they love having a local guy. He's beloved there. I hear he's a good kid. Have at it.
Yeah.
Have at it. You know, a real guy packing him up. This Marco Verde, pro debut. They're big on him. Versus Mikel Galvin Polina, 4-6-3, middleweights. Verde packed him up in the first. All right, cool. Let's see more of this kid. Get out there and destroy someone in your pro debut. I want to see, you know what I'm saying? I'm interested in your next one. Richard Riakporhe, 17-1, 13 KOs, spent a long time at cruiserweight, B. He's trying to make a run at heavyweight now. His only loss was to Chris Billum Smith, who we spoke about last week, who won or 2 weekends ago, versus Kevin Nicholas Espindola, 9-9. Riakporhe moves really well for heavyweight, and there's fluidity in there that you rarely see from a heavyweight outside of an Usyk, you know, and I'm not comparing him to him. Espindola quit in his corner after the fourth. I was really impressed with Riakporhe at heavyweight, but we have to take the opponent into account, you know, but we just spoke about not liking heavyweights, and this guy can crack a little and he can move around and he's not a slug like these blobs that we're about to talk about. You know, the Tony Taro, aka the great Pazzini, is about to talk about. Brian Leon, decorated Cuban amateur, 6-0, 6 KOs versus Aaron Roca Guerrero, 11-3-1. These guys are at 175. Brian Leon is a sniper, bad intentions, but everything lands. Throws a power jab, then doubles and triples it, but takes a little zip off the second and third to confuse you. Cracks you with the straight right hand, hooks off the jab. This guy is good. Mean fighter, too. Dropped Guerrero and had him hurt multiple times, but this Guerrero can fight and somehow survived. It looked like he was getting packed up at any, just you know, you're just waiting for it.
Mhm.
This was a life-altering fade. This kid's not, I don't know if this kid can come back from this. I had it 60-53. He's not only a Pazzi prospect, but I think they can fast track him to a contender sooner rather than later. I'm telling you, this kid is really good. And it's also a division we constantly say, well, it's a two-man division. And then we said, well, is it really a four-man now? Because we got Morel and the Mexican Monster, right below them. And Beterbiev is 40. You know what I mean? And him and Bivol are wrapped up again. So this kid, there's places. All right. Tony Taro, the great Pazzini, gets robbed out of a pick. Martin Bacoli, 21-2, 16 in KOs versus my guy, F.A. Ajagba, 20-1, 14 KOs. Ajagba boxed really well. Jab, jab, jab. Put a nice straight right behind it and got out of there. Get your head off the line. Crack him with a jab, make him reset, and you're gone by the time he gets that big right hand off. Perfect game plan that was perfectly executed. I had it 97-93, F.A. Ajagba. Judges had it 96-94, Ajagba, and 95-95 twice. We talk about not using the word robbery lightly on this show, but this was a clear, lopsided victory for F.A. Ajagba. And if that's not a robbery, I don't know what was. Neither of them are big names. Not much was at stake. So it's not talked about. It's not buzzing on Twitter that this was a robbery. It absolutely was. It wasn't hard to score. If someone had it 98-92 Ajagba, I would have been good with that too. I did the thing that you hate. What do I think judges are doing here? I probably would have had it 98-92 if I stood on my own business. No fucking idea what was going on here. If Piccoli, they just needed to save face for a big showdown with him and somebody else. Do you reward a robbery and get a Jogba in there with another just name guy? Big. I don't mean a huge,
No.
Philip Hergovich, F.A.
Yeah,
Jogba,
well,
something,
someone entertaining.
someone entertaining.
Yeah, it ain't Hergovich.
Billy's on. Billy's got things to say.
I bet a Jogba to win, and it ended in a push. They gave me the money back when it's a draw. I didn't know that that's what happens, but
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't know because the company
it's
that
a
you
push.
used hosed you in
Right,
Philadelphia with the Boots fight. So I was hoping it would be a push and you would just get,
right.
that's what I hoped. What did you think? Did Jogba win
So,
clearly to you?
yeah, he did. And
Okay.
but Bacoli, you also are not giving yourself any credit. You picked Bacoli to be 300 pounds. He weighed in
299, I think.
mhm,
Yes.
299 fat pounds.
You said he's going to come in shape for him. You didn't mean in shape like
285.
with muscularity, but for him. He's
Yeah,
gonna come in at 285, drop a little of a weight,
he
and
should have.
be the beast who he is.
He's a
I
big
think if
fat
he
blob.
comes in at 285, he might win that fight.
He does. And if I should put him on a weight plan, he should have listened to me. I don't understand these guys listen
Hey,
to the
look,
show and don't listen to me.
if a nun had balls, she'd be a
Should be a
priest. He
priest.
came in like a fat blimp. He got beat clean.
Big target.
A
Big fat
Jogba
target.
and the Jogba hit it. I give F.A. Jogba some sort of reward, Brendan. A guy with a name that's exciting at heavyweight. How's that for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's boxing, right? So we say that and we have hopes for someone, and then they just kind of, what was his payday for this? Does anybody know?
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
know,
I don't.
and who's his trainer?
F.A. Jogba.
Yeah,
Isn't it what's his name? It sounds like a fake name, like a name from a Rocky movie.
I'm gonna look.
Is there Cordoma? What's that kid's name?
I do not know.
He's got dreads. It's like
Whatever, doesn't matter. All right. What'd you think of the next fight? Uh,
Jaime Munguia
yeah,
versus Ming
this Bruno
Brunello
Sturridge.
Sorachi. I'm not saying Soras. It's not happening on my fucking
Me neither.
watch.
I don't know what.
168. This is a very different Jaime Munguia. Boxed well, intelligently, more defensively responsible. We predicted a KO. He's going to pack up this
So he's gonna
Bruno
beat the shit out of him.
Sorache.
Yeah, didn't.
But I honestly think a performance like this was better for him in the long run. In the long run.
Yeah. Sorachi gave a good account of himself.
He did. He's going to get another fight from this. I had it 117, 111, Jaime Munguia. Judges had it 116, 112, and 117, 111 twice. Sorache is better than a guy that should just fight out of France and you shouldn't hear of. We see this happen, guys, late replacements, and you guys, this guy can fight a little bit, and then they make a little run, a career.
Yeah.
Bruno Sorache can probably beat a few guys at six.
He might do okay.
He might do okay. He might get another upset win.
Or not.
Or not. He might get packed up.
Right.
You know, we don't know, but he's shown that he can fight 2 fights in a row. That he can handle himself.
And he can hang with the
and
tops.
He can hang with guys that can really fight. In my opinion, what they wanted, what the Mexicano fans wanted for particularly this weekend, was Bruno Sorache to get packed up and destroyed.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it. It's more fun. For Jaime Munguia and his career, this was better. Trust me, guys. Trust me. In future performances.
Agreed.
Him being a little bit more defensively responsible, he's still going to be
he's back with Eddie Reynoso.
Correct.
Yeah.
He's back with the Reynosos. You can see it. You could see when he bounces how they look different between Eric Morales, who's an all-time great, and Freddie. He's been with 3 great coaches.
Freddie's all offense.
Yes. And then Morales wanted him to mix in some D there, at least catching and shooting. And Reynoso is heavy on defense.
Sure.
To be an offensive goon, but be defensively responsible when you're not moving your hands. And I like what has happened. Badu Jack, 28-3, 41 years old, versus Noel McCallion, 27-2, 12 KOs. WBC Cruiserweight title. I thought Badu Jack had one good performance left in him. Badu Jack looked good. I thought at 41 he might have looked old after a 2-year layoff.
I got to disagree with you. I don't need to see him again. I thought they both looked pretty bad. Badu Jack is a headbutt machine. 1-2 headbutt, 1-2 headbutt. McCallion was landing right hands when he wanted to. Jack, midway through the fight, made an adjustment to get out of the way of the right hand, was countering with his own.
It's been 2 years since the Makabu fight, man. The guy hasn't been in the ring. This Badu Jack, you're really taking a shot at this fella.
41.
Noel McCallion can fight a little. Look, both of his 2 losses were close, B, and could have went maybe.
Yeah, but he's an Armenian fighting out of Germany. I mean,
via Florida, via Miami. Yeah, German army. I'm just saying the 2 losses.
Listen, if I see heavy German cards on your resume, I'm gonna be very.
I'm just saying the guy could easily be 29-0. You're really being a jerk midway through the fight when you think.
My God, I can't have an opinion over here today.
Look, in the middle of the fight, you think Badu Jack's going to start fading. You just said it. He made adjustments, started landing a big straight right hand. I'm agreeing with you. There was some back and forth action. There was a lot of close rounds. Badu Jack was doing good work to the body, which is oftentimes overlooked by judges and clearly my co-host.
No, because McCallion was doing good work and shoe shining, and no one does that anymore. And again, he was landing a right hand. He was tripling, quadrupling up the jab, McCallion. I had Badu Jack. I actually had this fight a draw. The work Badu did in the middle, I think, evened it up. But bookending the fight, McCallion, to me, looked better. And Badu Jack headbutted the shit out of him, caused a mouse under his eye. I mean, it was 1-2 headbutt, 1-2 headbutt. I didn't find the fight all that entertaining. A Badu Jack, even just a couple of years ago, I think disposes of a guy like this pretty easily, at least.
So you asked me about the weather in New York. Do you think going from 39 years old to 41 years old with no fights
is problematic?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know your opinion is cool. He is the WB champion.
Badu Jack is the kind of guy who just does a lot of stuff.
I know Badu Jack, so personally. So excuse me if it seems I'm being biased. Frankly, I am. I like him.
I like him too.
So no, I'm
Um,
being,
I
if you're listening, going, what are you talking about? I didn't see that. Um, Michaelian 1:16:12. That
right.
I'm just telling you, I had it 1:15, 1:13 for Bad Dude Jack in a razor thin fight. Judges had it 1:14, 1:14, which you did, and 1:15, 1:13 twice for
And I
Bad
don't
Dude
think
Jack.
that fight should have been razor thin and wouldn't have
I
been a
understand
couple
that.
of years ago.
I understand that. I mean, look,
Jack, he's well, we'll get into who I think are shot fighters. I don't think he's a shot fighter. But I do think he's a 41-year-old guy, and nature takes its course.
I
Um,
think guys there, B, we last week we spoke about cruiserweight and we said these types of
to
divisions are
me,
always top heavy.
this is a tough task for Jack.
But when we talked about being top heavy. Like Zordo is really good at cruiser.
Yeah.
Jay Apatai is really good at cruiser. You know?
And I think they put the beats on Badu Jack at this
So
point in his
what does
career.
he want to do? You know what I mean? If does he look? He lives in Abu Dhabi or Dubai now, full time. He lives in the Middle East.
Dubai.
He's beloved there. You know, he's Muslim. He's beloved over there. So he can fight. You know, I don't know that if you're a 41-year-old bad dude Jack, if you want,
Won 7 fights in a row.
do you look, he's got 3 losses. The one was a fluke KO against, what was that, Derek Edwards years back
Yes.
doing like the Super Six.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got clipped cold. He was just cold, you know, um, the kid Ryan Rozicki that was supposed to fight Badu Jack. He's
Mhm.
young, he's strong. Does that fight happen now? And what happens there? Is that who Badu Jack fights? Does Rozicki get one of those other guys? Ryan Rozicki's good. Um, the kid from the UK we like, is it Callum? He just fought and won on the Ben card. 3 name kid. Callum
Chris Billiam Smith.
Chris Billum Smith. Chris Billum Smith. Does he fight a guy like that? You know, I wouldn't go
Yeah.
near
I mean,
Zordo or
no.
Jay Apatai if I was Badu right now at this point in my life.
No, I
Forget
think it's
career.
decapitated.
Um, a Chris Billiam Smith or
That's a tough fight.
so is Ryan Rozicki, who he was
41 year
supposed to
old.
fight.
Yeah, 41-year-old guy.
Ryan Rozicki's young.
I don't know if I'm Badu Jack. I'm saying I don't know. Yeah, but it looks like it'll be Rozicki because that's who he was supposed to fight.
Right. And Ryan Rozicki's a buddy of mine. So is Badu Jack. So I don't, all right. I loosely use the main event,
Ugh,
Canelo Alvarez versus William. We were taught to say school, not skull. Canelo Alvarez
Skull's
versus
so much
William
better.
School. It is.
All right, we'll never talk about him again. So
Ever. 168 IBF, WBO, WBC, WBA, and Ring Magazine titles. Look, this School was on his bike. Canelo was stalking, chasing him around. He was finding Skull's rhythm and timing a little bit,
a
but
little bit, but
Skull was absolutely convinced he was winning the fight by jabbing, having the jab picked off. He was absolutely convinced and
I don't
moving.
know, man.
He genuinely believed that, in my opinion. In my opinion, that's what I believe. Canelo would load up, land one shot to the body, and Skull was back on his bike. Poor job at cutting off the ring by Canelo. I
Well,
don't ever need to see this William Skull again, and that's not hyperbole. I don't ever need to see him again. Hack him up. I had a
I told you he
120.
sucked.
I had a 120, 108 Canelo, and was arguably the most putrid lineal championship fight in the history of the sport. Judges had it 115, 113.
Yeah,
116,
everybody I was with
112.
had it. Everybody I was with had it close, and I was with 2 professional boxing trainers and a professional fighter.
Lastly, 119, 109. That's the only judge who got it right. Pack up those first 2 judges while we're packing people up here. We sent this Ariel Helwani.
But then you'd have to pack up everyone I was with.
I will.
Not one person that I was
I'm
with.
packing them all up.
I thought the fight sucked. Canelo, I have my opinions about it. I tweeted it. Canelo's a shot fighter. I don't think there's much left. 67 or 68 fights. What are 69 fights? How many fights does he have?
70. Do you have Do you, with this new opinion, 48 hours, it's only been with you for 48 hours.
I know a shot fighter when I see one.
I'm not saying you don't. First off, his body looked different. Exact same weight as times where I've seen him. Exact 167.1. He looked totally different in his body.
He looked different.
You were, regardless of skill, prior to this, you were picking Canelo going into the Bud fight. Can Bud go to 68 and beat what you're calling a shot Canelo?
Can he now?
Yeah.
I'm picking Bud now. Changed my opinion.
But
if you asked me a year ago, I said this was a novelty fight.
Yes.
And Canelo steamrolls him. He's just too big.
And then I picked Bud. Then I need you guys to help me out and find the recent audio of me saying the following.
A free T-shirt if you live in the greater Philadelphia area, namely continental U.S., Northeast, South Jersey, Philadelphia area. No, just kidding. Find that. Give us the time,
or you place an order and we throw that in for free. If you're not in the, if you go buy God Send Vengeance or merch and
I like that better. Send us, DM us, or send it to the email your receipt and the time.
I don't know if Billy has to get
Brendan, you're not following correctly.
I'm not.
I'll arrange it if someone can figure it out, or I'll just figure it out and I'll take the shirt. How about that?
No, why would you get the shirt?
What are you talking about?
Well, I can figure it out. You guys don't ask the producer to figure out what episode something happened on?
How can you figure it out?
I mean,
you can barely get us the right platform
to record on. You don't like doing anything. You know why I'm doing this and giving away a free shirt? Because you fucking will roll your eyes and go, I gotta, I don't do anything in my own job, but I gotta fucking complain about this. He just sits back like Scrooge McDuck, babe, with his feet up.
And swimming in his money?
Yes, with the fucking ice in the cup and the brown liquor.
Yeah. All right. That was a bad performance by both men. I guess you could give it to Canelo. How about both? Can I do a double knockout loss?
Yeah.
Double decision losers?
Yeah. Well, when we don't like two guys that are fighting, we always wish for a double knockout. So you're
I like Canelo. I think we said he was a declining fighter about 2 years ago. The run, I believe it was 2021, right? He went on that was 5 fights in a calendar year.
Yep. You think that did him in?
Well, that was it. That was the last great hurrah. I'm almost curious if they knew that. I'm actually, to tell you the truth, Vinny, I'm surprised he's fighting it at this point still. I thought he'd be retired by now.
I'll ask you a third. We've been throwing this at each other with these extenuating circumstances. People, like, I'm one of the very few people in boxing that loves Guillermo Rigondeaux. Were your friends that scored this close saying Skull pulled Rigondeaux?
No, they were shitting on Skull and saying the guy's running.
He was running.
But professional trainers were saying there's no excuse for Canelo not cutting off. And I thought he was running. There's no excuse for him not being able to cut off the ring or at least look better and throw more punches.
In my notes, I said, very poor job at cutting off the ring for a 70 fight.
But he can't fight movers, never could.
Look what Arislandi Lara did. Where is he from?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
What did Floyd do? What style does he have? Not Cuban, but a mover.
Right. All right, I don't want to harp on this bad fight, and I feel bad for the fans that watched, paid, and stayed up late. I didn't have it as wide as you did, but I did score a win for Canelo. I can't say the same for the people that I was with.
They scored the fight for Williams.
Correct. Everybody I was with.
I mean, I don't care if they're fucking Hall of Famers. That's fucking egregious. How do you?
I don't find it that egregious.
How do you win a fight when your game plan is to run and get a check?
Well, how do you win a fight when your game plan is to stand square, get jabbed, and then let the guy run away, and you can't
Because
catch him.
at very least, you're following and landing big shots to the body before he runs.
Yeah, but he wasn't even landing that many big shots to the body. It was maybe 1 or 2 every other round. It wasn't enough.
Look, man,
He's
it
not
wasn't
active enough. He threw 12 punches around. Canelo threw on average 12 punches around. He outperformed the outperformed negatively the Ryan Garcia and the Devin Haney fight, who both broke whatever record it was for fewest punches and least active fights.
You're basically these guys that you're basically saying this is how meaning me. Someone shits the bed and someone shits the bed more. That's how I scored the fight.
Okay.
The fact that you would think Canelo shit the bed more than School is fucking crazy to me.
I'm saying the guy's shot. Canelo was a shot. 12 punches around is a shot fighter's punch output. 12 punches around.
Billy, get me my clip of me saying that Bud doesn't just beat Canelo, he beats him easy. Yeah. Sunday, ESPN for free, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. All the undercards on ESPN Plus. They go to the main event card at 10 p.m. after the basketball game on ESPN. The undercards, Art Barrera Jr., 8-0, 6 KOs. I just mentioned him last month after he packed up that kid in the second round versus Juan Carlos Guerra, 6-1, known for beating Nico Ali. That's, where you might remember him. 154. They made this fight because they wanted a tough test for Art Barrera because Guerra's good. He's tough. He packed up Guerra in the 6th round, improving to 9-0. Pazzi prospect. This kid's good.
Okay.
Makito Nakano, 12-0, 11 KOs versus Pedro Marquez, 16-0, 10 KOs. Featherweights. Makito Nakano is a beast and a pleasure to watch. Fast hands, power. He's a killer. Had Marquez down twice in the second. Dropped him with a perfect uppercut in the third. Packed him up with body shots in the fourth. 5 total knockdowns. This guy is no fucking joke. He's a problem right now for anybody at feather, which would make him more than a prospect. But I think they're going to take some time before that because unlike some of these other guys in Japan and that are Cuban, he's not as old. We look and they have very few fights and they're 30. He's not like that. He's young. I think they might give him a little bit of time. So he's absolutely a Pazzi prospect. I'm on the cusp of calling him a guy that could beat real guys there. This kid's no joke. Emiliano Vargas, 13-0, 11 KOs. You and I believe that he has all the things that are there to make you a star. Looks, language, bilingual, family lineage, promoter behind him.
The only thing we'll figure out is once he gets punched in the mouth.
Once he gets cracked in the mouth. Juan Leon, 11-2, 140 pounds. Emiliano's to you and I the standout of Fernando's sons, great fundamentals, throws a nice short crisp 1-2, puts the jab downstairs, hands high, elbows tucked, beautiful double jab right hand, drop Leon in the second, then a double right hand left hook, packed him up. We've said it before, but we'll say it again. He's a star if he gets cracked in the mouth and eats it. 5 shots hit me. I took it and smiled.
Yeah.
So I guess being what he is, at 14-0 and 12 KOs, your concern and my concern is when they put him in with a real guy, how will he respond? So the bigger question for me to you is, when does that happen, knowing how young he is?
He's 21.
And knowing what they did to his father. He was a championship fight at
his 20th fight will be against a top 15 guy.
Okay, I like that.
So it'll be like another year.
Do you like that? Are you okay with that?
Yeah,
or is
it's
that
fine.
Still too? They put in Nando.
Dude, I'm saying a top 2015.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying a killer.
This is a fucking sport where memory's short. Brendan says it all the time. What have you done for me lately? That applies to careers too. People fucking conveniently forget that this fucking Nando Sr. was fighting Trinidad at like 22.
Yeah.
He was in a championship fight in his 15th fight.
He's 20.
He's
Right?
fighting Winky Wright, Bazooka Corte, and Tito Trinidad, and then and Oscar by 24. He fought all them by 24, guys.
By 24, yeah.
He fought most of them by 21, 22. Oscar was a little bit later. I think that was 02, which would have put Nando at like 24 when they fought, 24 years old. Because he and I are the exact same age. We're like a month apart, maybe weeks. B, do you think he's going to eat that punch? His father had a chin. His father would stand there. His father stood there with killers.
Who knocked him down?
Well, he knocked Tito down, then Tito knocked him down. I don't
Right,
think.
but what I'm saying is after. Was it like?
Was it Mosley in
or
like 06?
No, like no, not knockout. Was it like? Oh no, wasn't it like Wilfredo Rivera or whatever?
Someone,
like in the next
someone
fight,
clipped
like
him and he went down. You're right.
he
You're
went down.
absolutely right. It was after a massive, huge fight.
Right, and I was
someone
like,
clipped him as he shot. But see, to me, that's not indicative of his chin or the family's chin.
I don't mean
it in the
yeah,
bloodline.
yeah.
I think it's indicative of we threw this kid into the wolves at 19 or 20 years old in 15 fights. And he was fighting future Hall of Famers at 19 and 20 and 21 years old. And like you say, shop one. He at a certain age was where Canelo is. You know what I mean? I'm going to make a crazy prediction come September with Canelo and Bud, unless one of them gets injured and it gets shifted. I really like Emiliano Vargas, B. You know what I mean?
He's good.
He's very young. They're moving him carefully, and we just want to see him in there with a guy.
Keep seeing him, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep putting him on cards.
Rohan Polanco, 15-0, 10 KOs against Fabian Maidana. Yes, that Maidana family. 24-3, 18 KOs, never stopped, only stopped by capable guys. B, Rohan Polanco is next level with the feints. He almost uses it as a jab. Then he throws the actual jab. That's good stuff. That's really good stuff and very confusing for if you're fighting him, not for him. Fabian Maidana did not come to lay down, and he landed some big shots, some counter shots. Lots of Philly influence on Rohan Polanco's style. The Philly shell shoulder roll. I'm curious if he's trained here or done any sparring here. Do you know about
No idea.
Because you got the drop on a lot of amateur stuff.
I don't know.
You don't know if okay. I'm very curious. There's a lot of Philly in his style, B. Did you think that or no?
Yeah.
That from the fourth on, Maidana was cooked. And I feel like Polanco was playing with his food a bit. Did you see that at all?
I think Maidana knows how to survive, though, too. He's never been knocked out.
No, tough guy.
Yeah.
Tough family.
These Argentinian guys.
These guys are goons.
They know how to fight.
But I think if he let his hands go, he could have pressured the ref or Maidana's corner to stop it. Maybe Fabian would have said, get the fuck out of here. I'm going. But maybe if you rip off an 8-punch combination, like someone we're going to talk about in a moment, maybe he was there to be stopped, but Polanco let him live. I don't know. Maybe you're right too. Just the toughness. I just felt like it was a really big opportunity for him to pack someone up with a known last name on a big card.
If that's the case, then the matchmaker should know better than to put a guy in with
Fabian Maidana.
Yeah, 25 fights who's never been knocked out.
I got you. Dropped Maidana late in the 10th with a body shot though. All that said, I think Rohan Polanco is really good. I had it 99-90 for Rohan Polanco. All three judges had it 100 to 89. The name we bestowed upon him, the cheat code, Rafael Espinosa, 26-0, 22 KOs versus Edward Vasquez, 17-2, 4 KOs. WBO featherweight title. Espinosa's uppercut is a thing of beauty. Should he be on the inside throwing it as a 6'1" featherweight? Conventional wisdom says no. But I'm here for it, Mr. Long. I'm here for it. I'll say this. When he fights from the outside or mid-range, he boxes beautifully. So he's absolutely a maniac that chooses
he could choose to come inside and entertain.
Yes. So you got to love a guy like that. If you want to sit in there and sling the dogs, you're one of my guys. Vasquez, was staying very low, trying to jab his way inside with an up jab. Espinosa would take a half step back and crack him on the way in. Great stuff, Espinosa. It's a pleasure to watch. put an absolute beating on Edward Vasquez, and his
Never been stopped.
Corner should have stopped it after 4, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he's tough as nails. Billy Betts, what happened here? You came up, right?
Yeah, I had
The great Pazzini is on a fucking. The great Pazzini gets robbed by these judges with this FA at Jogba. Think about that, Long.
That you got robbed by the judges?
Yes, I got robbed.
Yeah. I mean, again, doesn't mean anything in terms of betting.
TGP, the great Pazzini, this Tony Taro, TT. This poor bastard Billy.
Well, I had the
don't
three
ruin
fight
the main
over
event.
under
Don't ruin
parlay.
the main event.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that. Naoya, the monster, Inoue, 29-0.
Real quick, did you see Rafael Espinosa singing after?
Yes, via IG, and I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm in.
He's an artist.
I'm in.
Inoue.
B, well, hold on here. You know what? I should have said something. Espinosa, let's unify, B. I don't know who's going to want it with this maniac.
No one. Yeah, it's going to be tough. They're going to have to throw big money at it, get people to cross the street.
They're saying Cool Boy Steph's going up again, another weight class. So so let's say that belt is vacant. Fight somebody for that.
You should fight Nick Ball.
Ball. They're saying that Nick Ball. He said he'll fight this Nick Ball next. He said he'll fight Shushu. He said he'll fight. He's
Angelo Leo. Leo's got to get through his fight in Japan.
Correct. I love Angelo Leo. Espinosa, if he gets through that fight in Japan, which is soon. You could make that late summer, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just he's so much bigger than everybody else.
He's fucking 6'1", featherweight. Yeah. What do you do? Just go, everyone's just gonna vacate.
Yeah.
Should everyone just vacate and just give him
just give him the belts? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just
put him in a box and leave it on his front porch.
Yeah, I agreed. Watching him beat everyone up on the way there though might not
crazy. Thinking Brandon Figueroa is a big featherweight.
Oh my God! I used to think that kid was like a 12-foot tall featherweight.
And this dude's 6'1",
like 5'8",
5'9".
Yeah. Naoya, the monster Inoue, 29-0, 26 KOs versus Ramon. If you do it the correct way, it's Cardenas, but they say Cardenas, right? Or Cardenas.
No, Cardenas. He doesn't have an Enye on it.
Right. 26-1.
That's the right way then.
No, you're right.
Yeah, if he doesn't have an Enye on it.
Yeah, I guess ethnically, is he Mexican?
Someone took it he's from somewhere. Mexico.
Yeah. And lives in Cali or Arizona, somewhere in the West?
No, I think he lives in.
No, he talks like us, bro.
Does he?
Yeah.
Ramon Cardenas.
26-1, 14 KOs for the IBF, WBC, WBO, Ring Magazine, 122-pound champion.
He's from Texas.
Because Inoue has destructive power, this just means getting something out. His other attributes are overlooked by casual fans of the sport. Beautiful step jab, great footwork. Ramon Cardenas was keeping his hands high, catching shots. And in the second round, threw a beautiful counter left hook that put Inoue on his back pockets that he doesn't seem to be able to
Inoue got reckless and square and got caught and almost got not. Bro, did you watch the slow motion of that?
Yes, I did.
He's out cold.
Did you watch Tim Bradley break this exact punch down and do the only accurate thing he's done in the entire history?
I did not listen to it.
However long he's been a commentator / analyst.
No, I watched this on the iPad in bed with no sound.
He's what we have both said. He's one of those dudes that everything he says, we're like, that's wrong. Yeah. That's wrong. That's twice in a week. This guy perfectly broke down a shot that Inoue's open for.
I think he knows the fights. He just doesn't watch ahead of time, doesn't do his homework.
I don't think he has any idea what he's talking about unless he's in the ring. And now he can't be anymore because he's retired.
Right. Okay.
And he slaughtered Haney's performance. And he's getting killed for slaughtering Haney. Are you hip to that?
I didn't know that.
He cut like a 90-second promo on him saying he shit the bed and it was the pits, which is, of course, accurate.
Right.
And everyone's killing Tim Bradley and calling him names that if I don't want to say them, they're racist names, but not slurs like those,
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
one of them was bootlicker, and then the other one's like, I'm not gonna say. I ain't gonna say that shit or
Not
feed.
worth it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna feed that. But when you're black and you don't like a black fighter, you're a sellout or
Right.
something.
It's
Or
so
a
weird
black,
to me.
forget like a black fighter, a performance. He doesn't say
Right.
I don't like Devin Haney. He said this
This
particular
performance
performance,
sucked.
the
What's he
same
supposed to do?
way he,
He's a journalist.
right. I didn't think this looked good. Then he shit on everyone else on that card too, except Teo.
Right.
Because Teo did something more than
Tried.
they did. He tried. He went to win. Um, that counter left seems to be there, B. Cardenas is a goon, and he went to Las Vegas to become the champion.
Yep.
He did more than I'm almost getting choked up because this kid was driving an Uber. And, to watch this performance of these other mutants on this card on Friday night, and then this kid against what, the number 2 or 3 in the world,
Right.
pound for pound,
Pound
and
for
this
pound.
kid
Yeah.
comes, drops him, doesn't admire the work and go, okay, I did enough.
I
This
didn't.
kid's
I really didn't think Inoue was getting up from that.
when he did get up, I said he might get clipped again because
Yeah.
he's hurt that
And
bad.
then bing, bell ring. Yeah.
Yep. Inoue comes back and lands big shots. Cardenas responds with smart boxing. In the 6th, Inoue let his hands go and had Cardenas out on his feet, but this maniac would fire back.
Yep.
What a round, the 6th
Yeah.
round. What
6th
a
round was wild.
round, guys.
He
More
was
war in the 7th. Cardenas down from 4 consecutive right
right
hands
hands. Yeah.
and gets saved by the bell. A barrage of punches lands early in the 8th. Thomas Taylor jumps in and
I thought
stops
it was a little
So you and everyone thought it was a little
premature.
early. I watched it. 14 unanswered shots in slow motion without so much as
Okay.
a peck at a jab. I could be wrong, and it could have been 16. I have it on my phone, but I would
Okay.
have to I would have to defer from the show to count it.
I
I
think
wrote correct. I wrote correct because he said that's an early stoppage. And I said,
it was
okay.
just I thought give him a little bit more time, but I think we also don't know what Taylor heard from Cardenas' corner.
Well,
You know
did
what I mean?
you
I
didn't
did
have
hear.
volume on?
No,
They were
I
about to
listened to it
stop.
after. They were
Okay.
about to. So I'm curious if they said, to him, "Hey, man, keep an eye on this."
My apologies to you and our listeners. It was not 14 unanswered. It was 16 unanswered shots. He stings him with a right hand on the top of the head.
Mhm.
So I'm counting that as 1, obviously. That's 1. He's hurt. And then 15 more. And he never even attempts to jab or tie up. 15 in a row after he's hurt by the
I
right
mean, he
hand.
didn't complain.
And he didn't complain.
He didn't complain.
And he had a full day to go, you know what? I rewatched that. That was an early stoppage. He said, I was driving an Uber a year, however long it was, a year
Right.
ago or 2 years ago. He gave this real humble, and now
Yeah.
I showed the world who I am. And yes, you did, sir.
I hope he gets another fight.
You absolutely showed the world who you are. You are a champion in a lot of other eras. If this guy wasn't in your division, you are absolutely holding one of the 4 belts. If he goes up or vacates, you will be a champion, Mr. Cardenas. I salute you.
Even if he's not, he's tough.
You're a gun. You can fight. You showed everyone you could fight. You showed everyone that those odds were wild and disrespectful. There was something like 36 to 1. You're getting into look.
At the end of the day, he still lost, so they were right. I mean, for that if he won that fight, it would have been the biggest upset of the last 5 years, no?
Oh, fair, yes. But I think we'd be remiss to not say Ramon Cardenas can fight.
He can fight. That's more of a testament to how good Inoue is.
He beats real guys at 122 pounds, Cardenas, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. I don't doubt it. Cardenas is good. Let's see who's over there.
Now talk
Super
to me
bantam.
about all of the I told you Inoue's a bum with a
yeah, it's frustrating. It's stupid. Look, he got knocked down. We just talked about Tito. Tito would get knocked down. He doesn't have a glass chin. He's in like his 5th division. He's unified 4 of them. He's a small guy fighting bigger guys. He comes back and knocks these guys out. He stops them. He fights frequently. He defends his titles. He's now fought in America. He'll go back to Japan. He fights where worldwide fighting. By the way, we shitted on the Sunday card. Upon further research, the Dodgers was the lead-in with Otani and Yamamoto. It's why they had a Japanese
My
Sunday on
apologies. I said
ESPN.
basketball. My apologies. Earlier, when I said
Oh,
the playoffs, you are
yeah,
correct. My apologies, baby.
yeah. So they did this for a reason. With that said, Inoue goes back to Japan. We are an ungrateful country in terms of this. They also, I believe, wanted to keep Japanese gamblers there all weekend. I think that was part of the plan in Vegas. Look, Inoue gets reckless in the beginning of fights, wants to put on a show. He did, however, make the necessary adjustments and makes them very quick. Cardenas couldn't land that same punch at all the rest of the fight. So we move on if we're in the super bantamweight division. Who should Inoue fight? Who does he
Look,
fight?
MJ is next. We wanted
MJ's next,
MJ
right?
now instead of this fight. Yo, again, salute Ramon Cardenas. B and I did not want you in this fight. We wanted it to be MJ. Here's where it gets a bit confusing to me, not because things haven't been laid out, but so I thought the MJ Naoya Inoue fight was going to be in Saudi, then go back to Japan at the top of 2026 and Junto Nakatani at the top of the year. You're telling me I'm incorrect about that, Mr. Long?
Well, where's he going to fight MJ?
Riyadh.
That's going to be in Riyadh. Okay.
No, I'm saying, am I wrong? Like,
I don't know. I'm asking you.
so
That's who he's fighting next, though, in September.
this is what someone wrote to me. Inoue have floor seat. Yet again, my man, he seemed to love that canvas. I say, you want me to rattle off all-time greats who got dropped a bunch of times? Because I could do that without even putting much thought into it. He sends back a meme, which means, oh, I'm about to get cooked. Because now you know you can't.
Right.
That's what that means. You know what I mean? When it
Yeah.
goes to a slur, be it ethnic,
Yeah.
be it racist, be it anything, it's some kind of slur or tough guy shit or a meme.
Right.
Fuck.
This was a DM?
No, on
Oh,
the Twitter thing. Then along with the meme says this. Else, like what else? But just the word else, the baby sat again. AH. BS, BS, BS. Now this is me. Are you speaking English? I'm just trying to figure out if I need to go to Google Translate or not before I respond. Him, another meme. Me.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Your flex is to send memes when you know you're about to get cooked. Got it. Peace. To that, another meme of a video game person shooting. So is he threatening to shoot me?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find where this is. Where?
Type retard into the search engine and this guy will probably come up. I guess in theory can I?
Yeah, you can send me the original tweet.
The thing.
Send it to me now while I close out this show. All right. So that's it for this episode, number 130 of Knock 'em Out the Box. On the next episode, we will talk DAZN. We will talk the return of Lee Wood. We will talk
And his haircut.
Emmanuel Navarrete. We will talk the return of Erickson Lubin. And we got on the menu Pumita Martinez and Kaz Ioka.
We do.
Rematch.
We do, and I like that.
You can get me at I_know_that_kid on IG, at the Killer B24 on Twitter. Find us at KOTB Boxing on IG, KEOTB Podcast on YouTube. Write us at kotbboxing@gmail.com. And Vinny.
JMTstore.com. New album is out now. God Sent Vengeance. If you're into streaming, go run up those numbers. If you're into YouTube, wherever, YouTube, Apple Music was giving us a headache. It's fixed now. If you're into physical copies or into merch, jmtstore.com. Vinny Paz on YouTube, at Boxcutter Pazzi on Instagram, at Vinny_Paz on Twitter, where you can give me your fucking moronic takes, like this fucking boob who thinks Inoue isn't good because he's been down twice. And that's it. Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.